One thing that I talk about a whole lot on this channel is the media's underreporting of COVID deaths that are going on right now. Now you're probably thinking, if you might be reading a little bit ahead, what does this have to do with COVID deaths? Well, they just keep reporting how many cases are out there, and there's a couple hundred, amounting to a couple thousand in all of British Columbia. But how many deaths are there? Man, that number is hard to track down. But you know what? Even in just 2021 alone, it doesn't amount to the 500 overdose deaths that have happened in British Columbia since the beginning of 2021. Okay? And another thing I make vague allusions to is I don't really have a strong position on it, hence why I don't really bring it up, is pot legalization. I guess layman's terms we'll speak in. We're friends here, right, guys? Yeah, overdose deaths, direct correlation with the decriminalization of marijuana in Canada, and it's resulted in 500 people dying. 498, sorry, if we're going to be specific about things. That's why I'm always a little hesitant when you got those crowds out there. Mostly comes from the libertarian crowd on the right center-ish. They're always pushing for legal pot, man. It's my body, it's my choice. Unless, of course, it's the jab, then you need to get that because you could kill grandma. Just continue to propagate how you'll just fuck without a rubber everywhere, but whatever. BC Coroner's Office released a report on Thursday saying that 498 people have died from an overdose in the first quarter of 2021, up significantly from last year. Yeah, imagine that. People who have no hope, no prospects, and are horribly addicted end up dying. Who could have possibly seen that coming? That number averages out to more than 5 deaths per day, which is 97 more, roughly 25%, than the same statistic from the year of 2020, which means a record-breaking all-time. Cool. Who brought the balloons and the confetti? According to Global News, the province declared a public health emergency just over 5 years ago. It's amazing how long you can keep those around. Just laying the groundwork. Over 5 years ago, because of an alarming number of drug overdoses occurring, and they have been increasing ever since. And when did pot become legal? Oh, 2015. Weird. If things continued on this track, we could see more than 2,500 overdose deaths in BC by year's end. But it's also BC, and it would be from Vancouver, so I'm not really shedding any tears, which would represent almost 30% of the overdose deaths in the past 5 years since the state of emergency was declared. See? What happens? Government institutes stupid policies. Government doesn't fix any of the problems. It tries to get elected in order to fix. Re-elect same government, get same results. And yeah, that was just a little throw-in because I seen that here today. Not really enough to make a video on because, we've just got a couple of minutes in here anyways. So let's get to the beef of this. The shit that's in the fucking thumbnail. Bill C-10. Lots of Canadian pundits out there have been opining about this bill. I've been mentioning it as well, and that felon and self-hairstyle aficionado, the Heritage Minister of Canada, is coming for your free speech. Whatever's left of it in Canada. You already don't have the right to assemble. They'll lock you down because my coof, my headache, my stuffy head. No, they'll lock you down for that. They'll tell you that the disease only comes out at night. You can go out during the day between the government prescribed hours, and now they'll be able to tell you what you're going to be able to watch and consume. So that means that my opinions will probably only get viewed through the use of a VPN. Who knows? If you're Canadian and if you're an American, thank God. There's at least one sane country on this continent, even with the dementia patient in charge. MPs receiving thousands of angry emails over Trudeau Liberals' internet censorship bill. And that's what it is. Even though Guilbeault says that it's not the case, actually. A Canadian internet advocacy group handed out thousands of emails protesting the Trudeau Liberals' bill to drastically change the face of YouTube in Canada. According to Blacklock's reporter, Bill C-10 has riled up Canadians, with even former commissioner of the CRTC, which is our version of the FCC, by the way, Peter Menzies, calling the bill an infringement on free expression and an assault on democracy. It is difficult to contemplate the levels of moral hubris, incompetence, or both that would lead people to believe such an infringement of rights is justifiable. This, however, has fallen on deaf ears for Heritage Minister Steven Guilbeault, who says critics of the bill were confused. No. Please, plebs. Us here on the Hill, we're the ones who decree what you guys can think, and clearly, you're misunderstanding. learn to read, okay? Educate yourself. The characterization that this bill would restrain freedoms of expression is factually incorrect. I mean, everybody I talk to, they think just like me, so their speech wouldn't be affected. And also, you're being dangerous and misleading and misinformation. I should slap a fact check on your forehead. The minister said to critics of the bill. Matthew Hatfield of the Open Media Group, though, sent over 8,000 emails to MPs' offices, according to Blacklock's reporter. We're outraged. Our government is trying to take such power over our speech. It is an existential threat to the open internet in Canada. Videos, podcasts, pictures, and memes that would be under CRTC regulation under the revised bill are not programs being broadcast. They are individuals' expression of people living in Canada, he said in the statement. And that is the gist of the bill, because we got it here. And I'll link it in the description below because it's not really that chunky of a bill. I'll just scroll through it here. It more or less, I'll tell you, I'll just give you a little abridged version of it, okay? As you can see, yeah, not that long, probably a few pages. But here's the long and short of it, okay? It wants to put every sort of social media platform under the purview of the CRTC. What would that do? End up scrubbing any sort of disinformation that would come from and be characterized by the Trudeau government, which is scary in and of itself because their opinion on what is fine and what is not just changes with the daily breeze. And then it also attempts to quash the growing support and the growing popularity of online platforms like Netflix, YouTube, anywhere you can get independent sources. It'll quash that and bring up the failing platforms, the ones that have direct control from the government, the ones that are already under the CRTC guidelines, CTVs, Global News, CBCs. It wants to make them competitive because not everybody out there, especially francophones and people who live in rural places. That's what it says here, okay? This is just a competitive piece of legislation that makes sure that everybody who is out in countryside or francophone can have equal access to information delivered by the government, and it will not be anything that disagrees with our purview of the direction of the Canada. Even though these motherfuckers who drafted this shit have never met anybody who fucking lived on a farm in their life and probably just categorize them as I don't know, the shitty cowpie kickers who I don't know, they're too stupid. They probably just fucking vote for whoever we put there. That's just their opinion. I think it's fucking reprehensible. And yeah, the vocal opponents of this piece of legislation, are sending their messages of displeasure at a clip of about 8,000. Not significant, but it is a start. It's falling on deaf ears, like it said in the previous article. And then we got a little bit more information of how deaf those ears actually are. Are they hard of hearing, or is this Helen Keller levels? Well, Trudeau Liberals shut down debate on internet censorship bill. It's coming. It's going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it. Liberal member of the Heritage Committee have voted to end the debate on Conservative motion that would review Bill C-10 under a Charter of Rights review. God, that matters anymore? Conservative member of the Heritage Committee sought to review C-10 in its current amended form to determine if it infringes on Canadians' charter rights. It does, but that won't happen. Bill C-10 has been a topic of a lot of political debate in Canada over the last week. Not really, because they just keep shutting down debate over it. The bill has been criticized by the opposition Conservatives for seeking to limit free speech on social media. The bill alleges that it would put emphasis on Canadian content on YouTube and other user-generated social media websites. Yeah, we were over that a whole bunch of times. Oh yeah, it'll just put up the authoritative sources from Canada in places like Netflix and YouTube and other independent sites because, good Canadian sources need to be heard. And who's going to determine who those good sources are? Oh, the CRTC. You fucking kidding me? Guilbeault suggests that Canadians would see more Indigenous storytelling. It sucks. You've been trying to push it on fucking CBC for generations at this point. Nobody watches your propagandistic horse shit. And content from radicalized community owned. What does that mean? That's for the Liberals to decide. We plebs just have to live in the aftermath, of course. Bill C-10 would regulate the internet and social media in a way that it would regulate national broadcasting. This is the reason why people turned off cable it's happening in Canada at the same clip as it is around the entire world. And it's going to alternative sources to figure out, okay, what's the actual story? Because I don't necessarily believe what I see on CTV, and I can barely stand the production values on Global, which rival that of mine. And the CBC, is that still channel 4 or 2 or 6 in French? I don't know. But your tax dollars go to directly fund that fucking pile of fetus. Because they talk about stories that wouldn't be covered in Canada. God no, God no. I'm a quarter feather. You think that I'd be pushed because they're trying to push Indigenous storytelling? Perhaps I'll just begin every video with a smoke signal, and then I'll just pop up out of the ground and be, hey, today we're going to talk about what the Great Spirit has imbued me with. Follow me on my great journey. If this goes through, I might have to do that in order to get some kind of a fucking push from this cucksucking platform. But yeah, we'll see where this goes, because, like Peter Menzies says, it's a full-blown assault on free expression and the foundations of democracy, which doesn't matter anymore because we're heading towards one-party rule, because people out east are too cocksucking stupid to not vote for this fucking walk-in commie-cum dispensary. There are some good people in Ontario, I know, I understand, but you're outnumbered like 25 or 30 to 1, so I don't know, I guess enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Hopefully something good will happen tomorrow, and if not, well, we'll do with it what we will, I suppose. I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.